girls on the train all the time. I see women on the train as well. But this girl on the train got issues in this bitch. What's going on, people? It's your boy Brass Tax in this bitch. You already know. Existing subscribers, I love you. New subscribers, welcome. You fucked up. For the uninitiated, this review is broke down in 3 parts. Part 1, I will talk about the movie. No spoilers, just the general gist of it and my opinions about it. Part 2, I sounded like I was from Baltimore in this bitch. I will go balls deep in this transfer where I will talk about the depth, the clarity, what have you. Okay? This is going to be some comprehensive shit. I'm going to keep it real with you. Part 3, I'll give you my final thoughts on this bitch. And then I will, expect a subscription out of it, hopefully. So Girl on the Train stars Emily Blunt. Emily Blunt, she's sexy. She nasty. There's something sexy about her. Like there's times I look at her and I think, okay, not bad. And there's other times I see her where I'm like, in any case, this movie literally is about a girl on a train. She got alcoholic issues in this bitch, okay? That's number 1. Number 2, she goes around vicariously living through other people. She clearly got too much time on her hand and she's an alcoholic in this bitch. That's pretty much actually, I ain't gonna say that. Women, I love you. I ain't gonna say shit. But most of you men like, I know what you were gonna say. I agree with you. All I'm gonna say is, she got too much time on her hands. And she is imagining stories about all these various people she passes by on the train. Do you know what I'm saying? She's making up stories in her head and shit. There's a word for that. And sane is not it. Eventually she sees something a bit fucked up. Then it opens the floodgates for this kind of whodunit murder mystery kind of bullshit. Which is what I like. And if it's Emily Blunt, all the more reason to watch that bitch. The marketing, I felt, just on a side, but hyped this movie up a bit too much. This movie was good. It had some great moments. I recommend you watch it though. It's worth a watch. And it is interesting. And it has got some very, very good acting in it. Specifically from Emily Blunt. The shit kept me guessing. So it is interesting. But is it interesting enough that you would watch it again? Unless it's very masterfully crafted, which this film tries to be, I don't think you would watch it again. I think it's a one-timer, personally. But there's other people who would really like this movie. The marketing is pushing this as the second coming of Christ. But the movie itself is worth watching, but it's not as deep as you would expect. There's no visual effects, so we'll leave that out. Shot on 35mm film. Digital intermediate, 2K. Upscale to 4K. DTS-X master movie. Now this is about a girl on a train. More importantly, how's she looking in 4K? She looks pretty fucking gorgeous. Clarity, it's a very, very clear image. Close-ups of skin, wrinkles, hair. You can make out everything pretty clearly. It's a very noticeable upgrade from the 1080p. The buildings where some of these movies are shot, you can make out brickworks and what have you. You can make out a lot of things. Textures, you can make that out pretty clearly. Folds, the creases, everything. Clarity is very good on this. When Emily Blunt is on the train, it's a very bleak, muted color palette, right? And that comes across on the 4K as well. There is wider color, but it's still bleak. But there's other scenes which are deliberately very warm and very vibrant, just like the 1080p. But on here, it takes it up another level. It adds a very nice 3-dimensional feel because of the clarity and because of the color. Things really do pop out of the screen. Give it a nice 3-dimensional feel in this bitch. But whilst it is doing that, it's not oversaturating colors. Everything still looks very natural, but it's vibrant where it needs to look vibrant. If you've seen the 1080p Blu-ray, you'll know what I'm talking about, as there's different tones throughout the movie. There's different degrees of vibrancy. Black levels are very good. They're not A1. You can make out the blacks, but in my opinion, there could have been a bit more detail with the blacks. They could have spent a bit more time. The black levels could have been a bit more better than they actually were. Because of the clarity, because of the HDR. The depth of field is very good. She's on the train, she's looking. You know, she's looking and she's seeing people she passes. And that is one of the main things I noticed is the clarity. Even when parts of the movie are pretty muted in color, the clarity and depth of field is there. There's a scene where she's outside talking to someone. She's in the back garden. There's nothing but greenery around her. And you can see all the different degrees of green and just colors that you wouldn't normally notice on the 1080p. Where this really shines though, like I said, is in the vibrant scenes, because the vibrant scenes really push everything out. There were people who loved this movie and there were people who actually were lukewarm about this movie. It wasn't as good as I was expecting, but it wasn't a bad movie by any stretch. If you're a fan of Emily Blunt, it's a good one. Could she win an Oscar for this? Possibly. I think her acting was better than the actual movie. She's always been good in movies anyway. Shout out to Amy McLean. This was one of her favorite movies. She loved this movie. She's a film vlogger as well. You should look her up on YouTube, man. She got a huge channel in this bitch. What you saying, baby? It was decent. It was decent. Yeah? Pick it up. If you're unsure, maybe wait for it to drop. It's a really good 4K presentation. So if you like the review, hit the like button. Definitely subscribe. And I will catch you guys next time.